All right, well, these guys are putting our new shed together. I'm gonna make an under 10 review of our saws. So starting with the most expensive saw that we currently own, we've had this for a couple years now. It's the K970 ring saw. I haven't had any problems with it of any type. This is not from the saw, something spilled on that. You can see how much we use it. If you have any type of specialty concrete cutting to do at this depth and out, you can't live without this saw. You have to have this saw. So you got to justify the $3,200 some way. And it does consume blades faster than you would think, and the rollers inside need a lot of maintenance as well. And you have to always have water on it, but it's a great investment. And then here is the other big saw that we really like, the K970 16-inch. And I just went with Google prices, and I went with the first one that I saw on the screen. Currently it's for $1,375. I'm sure you can get that different price somewhere else. This is the other one that you saw in that video. This is the one we've had for several years that's been rebuilt twice, and now I'm absolutely convinced that there's something wrong with the piston ring combination in this saw because it's now basically shot again. So I'm either going to sell this thing on Craigslist as a part saw, or we'll just keep it around for a part saw. And then what happened when this one went down, we needed a 16-inch saw, so we actually bought that Makita, and that thing was a huge disappointment. Paid $1,100 for it. It's called the DPC8132. You can see how clean it is versus some of these other ones because it's hardly used. Now, why it's hardly used is because this is the worst starting saw, or I should say most difficult saw to start we've ever used. And yes, it's had a significant period of break-in time. It's been used by all kinds of different people, guys that certainly know how to start a small engine, and I put this down as a don't buy. And it's not just our experience here with this saw. When we were at the World of Concrete, that's where we actually saw this saw for the first time. The Makita booth actually had this saw kind of tucked around a corner at their booth at the World of Concrete, and I saw it and I asked the guy, hey, a 16-inch saw, let's check this out. And the funny thing is he couldn't get the one at the World of Concrete started either. So I've come up with the acronym that DPC stands for dead piece of crap. I do not recommend this saw. You've seen the other videos, you know I like Makita stuff, but this one, So this 970 died, and then we purchased that one just as basically, let's try some other 16-inch as a test. That was a piece of crap, and I actually went and bought another brand new 970 that this one's only about 8 or 9 months old now, maybe less, maybe even 7 months. You can see how much we use it by the dust and everything on it. They need a good cleaning, but so far so great with this one. It's got the same power as the old one, but apparently they've done something different with the piston inside. So we'll see how long that lasts. And just like I said in that other video, because we've had so much success with Husqvarna stuff, we've bought more and more. Moving on to the little guy. This is actually an old one. When Husqvarna bought Partner, they used to say Partner 750 on it. And then as time went on, they just said 750 Husqvarna. I've actually never had a problem with these, except this one's muffler blew out. I don't know why. So this one's super loud and needs a new muffler. But for $900 and for average cutting, this is the saw to buy for any do-it-yourself or a contractor. This is the one to get because it's just so reliable. It's never blown up. It just keeps on going and going and going, and you need a 14-inch saw if you're in contracting. If you need an electric saw, recommend that one. That one is good, but it is weak. So you just got to take your time. But if you're in an area where emissions are an issue, then you have to get it. Moving on to the Makita saws, the 4-strokes. Again, this is 2 of the 3 that we have. One of them is actually on a job site right now. This past summer, well, it was probably, really wasn't that long ago, we actually experienced 2 rewind issues on the Makita where this won't go back in. Needs to get fixed. I'm not sure if it's just jammed up in there or what, but the third one, on the other saw, the rewind, the little dogs inside the rewind, they actually broke, and we actually had to order another set from online, and then it was fine, of course, when you put on a new recoil. And the reason that one is still kind of new-ish or cleaner looking is because this one gets used on asphalt, so the dust from asphalt doesn't stick to the saws as much as wet concrete dust does, because a lot of times they're just cutting in spots where they can't use water. And 2 of the 3 Makita 4-strokes burned their blade water system. I think if water was running through here at all times, I don't think it could ever burn from the heat of the muffler, but when this thing's right there by the muffler, it heats up and melts it down. But overall, if you're gonna do any type of long pavement cuts, on a smaller size scale, this is a good one to get. And then the Solo saw, right now, first price I saw on Google is $1,050. What's really nice about this saw is, and I will say too, this is the one we won at World of Concrete. I did not purposely seek this saw out to buy it, but when it was actually Diamond Saw Blades International, who we did the test with their other blades, they were auctioning or raffling off this saw as a prize. If you bought some of their blades, this was the prize, and by the slimmest margin in hell, I actually won this saw by the roll of a dice, and the die was actually about to fall on a different number, but it fell on my number. At first, when we started using this saw, it had the same symptoms as the Makita, where it was really, really difficult to start. And there's a couple goofy features where this is the off switch, and that's on, and you can actually stop it by pushing this button too. And then there's some of the cool features where if you turn this, there's like some kind of cam and bumps in there that knock the dust out of the air filter. But what's really awesome about this saw is it's a 2-stroke with damn near the same power when that's running, and damn near the same CCs. I should have pulled up the CCs of what these saws are. This 970 is more powerful. It's the most powerful saw we have here. But it's this 881 iLube Solo is not far off, and it's a 14-inch. So I thought that's why I picked it. I thought that would be a good choice. The other saws I could have picked was a steel, and I could have picked a 750 when they were giving away the winter saw. What's really nice though about this is the oil and the gas, because you can easily just pour the oil in, and then it's oil injection like a snowmobile, and then just pour the gas in and go back to work. You don't have to sit there and try to find a measuring cup or find the right amount of oil or find something else to mix it in and then dump it in. Hope those 2 containers are clean so you're not getting a tank full of sand and grime and bullshit. It's nice to just pour it in, let the saw do the work and go. So after this thing broke in, after it had its, I'd say 2 solid weeks of not wanting to start real well, after it broke in, the guys started using it all the time, and I did too. And I really like its balance. It's just got a good center point grip and balance. But the one thing that happened on this one now is probably similar to the Makitas. Those little dogs inside the rewind wore off. So now the rewind pulls out without engaging the engine. So that's definitely going to get fixed, because we like this saw. But it is something to note that maybe there's something inside these rewinds that could be beefed up a little bit. But I'll continue making review videos as we go along here. This is the end of the year for 2016, and the opinions would be Solo 881, goodbye. Makita MM4 4-stroke 14-inch, goodbye. DPC8132, bad bye. 750, always a good buy. 970, still in review. If you need to cut deep, you have to get a 970 ring saw, and we'll go from there. Under 10 out.